Touchdown, Alabama, let's get it.
The process, no one can stop this. Hottest show in the streets, I bet you can't top this. Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer, come see how we rock this. Alabama fans the best, there's no way you can top this. Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
The process.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome into The Process, Crimson Tide Recruiting. I'm your host, Justin Smith, the Director of Recruiting and Managing Editor here at Touchdown, Alabama. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on our YouTube channel. Hit that like button for me. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you can stay updated on everything Alabama football and everything Alabama football recruiting as well. Also, hit the notification bell, be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. The Crimson Tide are continuing to recruit. We are continuing to hit the road and grind and cover and evaluate some of the Crimson Tide's top targets so we can continue to provide you guys with the best recruiting updates when it comes to Alabama football. Had an opportunity over the weekend here to check out multiple Crimson Tide targets at the 707 tournament in Atlanta. And this was one of the most loaded 707 events I've ever attended. And when I break down these recruits in this video, you guys are going to see exactly why I say this. The first guy I want to talk about is the guy I've talked about on recent episode of The Process. I'm talking about five-star defensive back Elbert Hill out of Ohio, one of the top defensive backs in the 2026 recruiting class. He was at this particular event and he flashed really well. And if you guys have watched previous episodes of The Process, I think the video we've shown of Elbert Hill in the past has been him on the offensive side of football. So now we got some clips of him playing defense as we had an opportunity to see him in person, evaluate him, see that he's a guy with great technique in terms of coverage, patient. He's able to do a lot of different things in coverage, flash a lot of different plays, make plays on the football, showing that speed that he has on the offensive side of the football translates over to the defensive side of the ball. Of course, the Crimson Tide are very involved in his recruitment. They got out to visit him when Crimson Tide's coaching staff visiting high school programs all over the country. After they visited him, he told me that the Tide stand pretty high in his recruitment. They continue to stand high. He said he basically will get back to Tuscaloosa on next month when the Crimson Tide start spring practice. So Alabama continues to be in a really, really good position with the five-star defensive back. But like I said, I'm going to continue to say when I talk about Elbert here, he is a product of Ohio. So, Ohio State is going to continue to be a huge part in this recruitment. But right now, the Crimson Tide are in a very, very good position in my mind with Elbert Hill as they will continue to recruit him in this 2026 recruiting class. Another guy I want to talk about who's actually in attendance for this camp is Xavier Tiller, a four-star tight end out of Georgia who's really, really high on the Tide. But you don't have to listen to me say it. He's going to say it to you guys in this quick video clip that we were able to get of Tiller. What are your thoughts about Alabama?
I love it. It's roll tide. What you not like about it?
And Tiller is a 2026 four-star tight end out of Langston Hughes High School in Georgia who's set to officially visit the Crimson Tide on May 31st, that weekend of May 31st. When you take a look at Tiller's recruitment, he's a former Texas A&M commit, but he has Auburn, Miami, and other schools involved with this recruitment at the moment now that he's back on the board. 6'5", physical, big tight end. Very difficult to bring down after the catch. He can make difficult catches in coverage as well. So the Crimson Tide really like him. He's really high on the Crimson Tide's ability to use their tight end, saying that he is a tight end who wants the football, and Crimson Tide have shown, they showed this past season, that they are going to give their tight ends the football. He also spoke highly of his relationship with the Crimson Tide's tight end coach Brian Ellis, saying that Coach Ellis is a huge reason why the Crimson Tide are going to get an official visit from him, saying that Ellis has told him that he is one of the Crimson Tide's top targets in his 2026 recruiting class, and he really appreciates that. So Xavier Tiller is a tight end to look out for when it comes to the Crimson Tide in his 2026 class. Ezavier Crowell is also in Atlanta, as you guys can see, sporting the Alabama wristbands, playing with all gas crew, one of the top 707 teams from the state of Alabama. Of course, Crowell is a four-star running back out of Jackson High School in Jackson, Alabama, who reclassified from the 2027 class to the 2026 class. I wanted to show you guys this video. Look at the size of Crowell. He's huge. This is my first time actually getting to see him in person, so I have an opportunity to see his stature. He looks like a guy who's going to be able to skip his senior season and go to the college football level. And of course, the Crimson Tide are one of the top programs in his recruitment, along with Georgia, Texas, and Auburn. He will take official visits to all of those programs during the summer. The Crimson Tide are set to be the last program to get an official visit from him. In my opinion, I think the Crimson Tide are the team to beat here. I think Alabama is arguably in the lead for Crowell, but I think Auburn is going to be probably the team that's going to be Alabama's biggest competition, with them being another in-state program who recruited inside the state really well during the 2025 recruiting cycle. I think Georgia and Texas are going to be on the outside looking in, but a lot can happen. But at least in my opinion, I think Alabama is the leader here, but Auburn is a team you just got to watch out for with the success that they've had recruiting inside the state under Hugh Freeze, specifically in that 2025 recruiting cycle. Jorden Edmond was also in Atlanta, checking out going up against some of the top prospects who were in attendance at this camp. And Edmonds' length really stood out to me. You're talking about a guy who's listed at 6'3", has those long arms that you like to see at the cornerback position in today's age of college football. He can use those arms like you guys can see right now. He can use that length to jam wide receivers off the line of scrimmage, at least get his hands on wide receivers and disrupt their route running ability. See that he's able to get a little physical at times as well as go along with that length. But this is a guy who has the Crimson Tide in his top 5 at the moment, along with Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. As we said on previous episodes of the process, he was set to announce a commitment earlier this month on February 19th, but he has backed off of those plans, with the Crimson Tide looking like the possible favorite to land him on February 19th, because his recruitment just seems like it continues to grow. We're talking about a guy who has picked up recent offers from a couple of different programs like Miami, programs like Ohio State, programs like Florida State. So if you got programs like specifically Ohio State, the national champions, offering you may have to reconsider things a little bit. So that seems to be where Edmonds' recruitment is at the moment. But right now he does have that top 5, like I said earlier, of Alabama, with Alabama being involved in his top 5 along with other programs like Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Really, really impressive at this particular camp, playing for Hustle Inc., one of the top 707 programs out of Georgia. Corey Barber was also in attendance, showing why he has had this meteoric rise on the recruiting front, picking up offers from programs like Alabama and Georgia as of late. And he told me that the Crimson Tide have made him a priority. He's talking with Alabama's coaching staff, with Alabama's wide receiver coach Jamarcus Shepard pretty much every day, talking with Alabama's defensive line coach Freddie Roach, who is the in-state recruiter for the Crimson Tide on a consistent basis. Not only is he talking to Alabama's coaches, he's talking to Alabama's players. Jalen Mbakwe is actually his former quarterback. When Jalen Mbakwe was a quarterback at Clay Chalkville High School as a senior, he was throwing football to Corey Barber at wide receiver. So Jalen Mbakwe and Ryan Williams are both in contact with Barber, telling him that to go ahead and come home to Alabama, telling him that they feel this is where he needs to be. He has multiple spring visits locked in, and he plans to take multiple spring visits. He's going to get out to Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Mississippi State. He plans to get out to Alabama on March 22nd to check out the Crimson Tide. And as he continues to build his relationship with Alabama, it won't surprise me if he eventually locks in an official visit. But like I said, he was really, really impressive at that count. This is just one of the best clips that I got of him, and he continues to be, like I said earlier, a rising star on the recruiting front as one of the top wide receiver prospects here in the state of Alabama, and also in the 2026 recruiting class in general, because a lot of programs really, really seem to like Barber. I think Ole Miss, Miami, they were actually involved with the in-state prospect before he blew up, when we had an opportunity to see him at the Under Armour Next Atlanta camp. But now Alabama is involved, Georgia is involved. So Corey Barber's stock continues to rise, and he was easily one of the top performers at the 7-on-7 tournament. A guy who was also a standout was Somourian Wingo, a guy who I haven't talked about on the process in previous episodes, and that is because he recently actually got an offer from the Crimson Tide less than a month ago. But he's a 4-star wide receiver in the 2026 recruiting class out of Florida, who Alabama has gotten involved with his recruitment on the back end, and he understands that. Out of St. Augustine High School in Florida, he knows that the Crimson Tide are coming in late, but he said their message to him so far has been that although we're coming in late, we still want to get an opportunity to recruit you. And the official visit is definitely on the table for Wingo. More on Wingo and from Alabama's push for him and his interest in the Todd will be on touchdownalabama.com. So stay locked in whenever you get an opportunity to our website as well. The last guy I want to talk about is a guy who's a teammate of Wingo in Brysen West. This is a 2028 wide receiver. This is a guy who's coming off his 9th grade football season, but his offer list doesn't match up to the typical 9th grader. And the way you saw him playing, where you guys are seeing him play right now, the way that I saw him play at the 707 event, this guy is not the typical 2028 prospect at 6'4". First off, 6'4", 200 pounds, in a 2028 class as a 9th grader is crazy. But his offer list matches up to an offer list that you'll see of a top recruit who's coming out in this recruiting class. He already has offers from Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, LSU, Penn State, Florida State, Nebraska, Miami, Tennessee. Some of the top programs in the country have already offered Brysen West, and he flashed why on Saturday. He spoke highly of the Crimson Tide, basically saying that he respects the Alabama program, and they actually offered him like 2 times when they offered him I think over a month ago. One coach, I think Jamarcus Shepard, and another coach came back and offered him like a week or so next. So Alabama wanted to make sure that Brysen West knew that he had an offer from the Crimson Tide on the table. This guy's easily probably going to be projected to be the #1 wide receiver in that 2028 recruiting class. But more on him, like similar to Wingo, will be over at touchdownalabama.com. But that is what I wanted to do on this episode of The Process. Let you guys know we here at Touchdown Alabama consistently on the road to bring you guys the latest in Alabama football recruiting news. As always, be sure to hit that like button before you leave. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, so you can stay updated on everything Alabama football and everything Alabama football recruiting on our YouTube channel. Head over to our website as well to pick up a subscription there when you get an opportunity. But as always, I am Justin Smith, the Director of Recruiting and Managing Editor here at Touchdown Alabama.
Process.